Anissa is not playing. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul with a little bit of hip hop and some geek. We're gonna put it together today for on screen. That means it's anything TV, movies, whatever. But specifically today, because we gotta catch up, man. It's a brother down in Freeland called Black Lightning. In this episode, we're going back a little bit because we're playing catch up, but this is where we see the fallout of course, Black Lightning and Johnny Toledo with the whole fight in the alley, and he was getting beat up and he fell off a little bit. You know, Toledo got the up on him, and now we see how dirty the precinct is. And I want to pose this question to you guys. When do you think Black Lightning is going to have to deal with the dirty cops? Or do you think that his detective friend is going to have to deal with them? Do you think they're both going to have to work together to combat all of the dirty cops? Because I don't know if it's just the dirty cops in the higher positions that are kind of controlling the underlings and they aren't dirty, they just don't know. Or if many more, and when I say many more, I mean all of the police department besides maybe a few here and there are actually on the payroll of the 100. That's an issue that I think we're gonna have to deal with, hopefully maybe next season, but it's definitely gonna have to be dealt with because we can see there's some people out there with not so, let's say, above board activities. So I wanna get to Tobias and Toledo. They're back and forth. You can see it's a very subordinate role for Toledo because when we first see him, of course, we know that, Tobias Whale is at the top, but they seem to more be working together. Like these guys are like, hey, this guy and girl are both evil and they like working with me. And, we're kind of like, they're my enforcers, but we're more of a kind of a team at the top of the 100. But in this episode, we see that it's not a team. Nah, this ain't no team. You work for me. Because he whooped up on Toledo for a second because, like he said, why you ain't finished the job? Like, and of course cops were coming, but it's like, we pay the cops. So it's like, what are you worrying about? Like, finish the job, B. That's why he should have got beat up. I'm glad he got beat up, but we're going to slide that to the side because we got to move on. Lady Eve, I'm not sure where she's going with this whole thing with Tobias. They ain't gelling. No, they ain't gelling right now. And I like the little jabs. I like the dust and all that stuff. I like the little jabs that she's throwing his way. I want to see it come to a head, but I like the jabs. Lady Eve does not play. And you can see Tobias, to a certain degree, is kind of scared of her. So, I got to give her props for being boss level. So, of course, we have, Anissa. They're looking for guns. They got the representation in here as far as how our culture is. But before the jump, I wanted to stop and talk about Jennifer and, of course, Jefferson with the conversation about the cultural aftershocks of slavery. And when he talked about crabs in a bucket, and I just wanted to touch on that because this is something that normally I would not expect to see in a CW show. And I got to give it up to Mara Brock-Akil and Salima Akil for even being able to get this on to, CW. This is not an issue that we would expect to see on a CW show. And this show is just such a gem because of stuff like this. Even though it's not like they spent the whole episode on it, but you could definitely see where it is affecting her and issues that are not specific to Black culture, but that definitely are parts of Black culture are being displayed, are being dealt with, at least brought up. And that's something that I really like about this episode and this show in general, man. This show has been solid since the beginning. So I got to give them their props. And I like how Jennifer is dealing with it. I like the fact that it kind of backfired on old girl for trying to be funny. Because I think they're trying to touch on some real life issues without being preachy. And I got to give him props for that. Now, of course, guys, we're here for, this is the episode where Big Bang happened. But of course, we're going to handle that after the break and a little bit with Gamby too. But of course, first, Cure Brand going to help us pay them bills. Yeah, that's right. Hats, shirts, hoodies at that link below. Whatever you looking for, they probably got it. And once you find something you like, cop it. So I want to touch on Gamby for a second because Gamby is, I want to see this story play out with his full engagement and full interaction with whether it's Lady Eve or whether it's Tobias or what exactly that stemmed from. And, like the ignition point for all of this, like how he was, kind of involved with all those guys. But on the same side, this is a huge secret to be keeping from Jefferson. And I don't know if this is something that's going to be good for him at all. I mean, they're a team, and these, like I said, before, these two guys, if they trust anybody, have got to trust each other. And keeping a secret, like personally knowing Tobias, personally knowing Lady Eve, also knowing Tobias was alive and in the city all this time, it's not going to be good when Black Lightning finds out. But let's wipe everything away. Guys, of course, holler at me and let me know what you thought about this episode. But I wanted to take a lot of time out to talk about the fight scene, of course, with Black Lightning and Thunder. And she brought that thunder. It was good to see Anissa want to relate to her mother, want to talk to her mother about not only the family, but also just herself as an individual and what she wants to do, because the family is kind of affected by all her moves. Also, I'm glad that she didn't try to keep it, Anissa, didn't try to keep it a secret forever that she was kind of like doing this hero stuff. I like that she wanted to set up a meeting. She had only been training for a couple of days. She beat up a couple people and she wanted to get right into it about, hey, Mom, I'm doing this hero thing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I believe that I'm helping and, I just want you to know. So I got to give her props for that, for wanting her mom to be a part, maybe not a part of it, but at least be aware. And of course, when she shows up, she quickly dispatches the dudes that are trying to beat her moms up for the information that Gamby goes to Lady Eve for. But I like how she handled it. She has a similar cocky vibe to like her dad. I mean, her dad got the old school, but dude shot at her, she blocked it. The other dude held the gun up. She's like, come on, man, for real. Like, did it work for him? Do you think he missed? So I do like that. And then of course, when Black Lightning comes in, oh boy, ain't it dope. I mean, of course, I don't want families to fight and I don't want good guys to fight each other, but it was a cool scene to see how powerful she was and how capable she was. And I say that because since Black Lightning doesn't know who she is when he comes on the scene, we can assume that he's probably kind of going at least at full speed or, at 100%. And she, to a certain degree, held her own. I mean, she withstood the blast, she blocked the blast, she hit him a couple times, she got some points. So it's nice to see how capable she is because, of course, let's go on and be honest, they're going to be working together soon, but they got to get through this family mess first. And also, where does Jen land? Because Jen doesn't have her powers yet. She will, of course, but she doesn't have her powers yet. So what does this do to the family? Does it bring them closer? Does it fracture them more? I'm not sure, but guys, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you down in the comments. Let's talk Black Lightning. So excited, but I gotta get out of here because I gotta see another episode so we can get caught up, you and me. That's what I'm talking about. So for our bounce, I gotta tell you guys to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right, check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.ThatNERDSoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt, player. Don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right, there's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart, and please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, you better watch your back. Because being a regular thug or bad guy A or hoodlum B, it ain't safe no more. Peace.